Some people grow up with food on the table, a roof over their head, and parents who seem to do their best, yet still carry a deep, hard to explain emptiness. Not because no one was physically there, but because no one really saw what they felt. And when a child's inner world is consistently ignored, that experience often follows them into adulthood in ways they don't immediately recognize. 1. They struggle to name what they feel. One of the most common signs is emotional confusion. They may feel overwhelmed, shut down, anxious, or sad, but have trouble identifying exactly what is happening inside. Instead of saying, I feel hurt, they might say, I don't know what's wrong with me. That's often what happens when emotions were never reflected back with care. If no one helped you understand your feelings, you may have learned to disconnect from them. 2. They apologize for having needs. People who grew up emotionally unseen often feel guilty for needing comfort, support, or reassurance. They may say sorry too quickly, hesitate to ask for help, or feel like their needs are somehow too much. Even something simple, like asking for time, attention, or understanding, can feel uncomfortable because deep down they may have learned that having emotional needs made them inconvenient. 3. They become hyper independent. On the outside, they often look strong, capable, and self sufficient. They handle things alone. They do not ask for much. They pride themselves on needing nobody. But sometimes hyper independence is not just strength, it is protection. It can come from learning very early that vulnerability would not be met, and relying on others did not feel safe. 4. They overread. Small changes, a shift in tone, a delayed text, a shorter reply than usual. For someone who grew up emotionally unseen, small changes can feel unusually big. They may quickly assume they did something wrong, that someone is upset, or that connection is slipping away. This is not because they are dramatic. Often it is because they became highly sensitive to emotional distance long ago. 5. They find vulnerability deeply uncomfortable. They may be kind, insightful, and easy to talk to, yet still struggle to be fully open themselves. The moment a conversation gets too real, they may laugh it off, change the subject, or go emotionally quiet. Not because they do not want closeness, but because somewhere inside, vulnerability still feels tied to disappointment. 6. They often feel too much and not enough at the same time. This is one of the most painful contradictions. They may feel deeply emotional, deeply affected, and deeply sensitive, while also believing they are somehow still not worthy enough to be fully loved, chosen, or understood. So they live with both messages at once: I'm too much, and I'm not enough. 7. A gentle truth. If you relate to these traits, it does not mean something is wrong with you. It may mean you adapted to an environment where your feelings were not consistently noticed, named, or held with care. These patterns can be protective, but they can also be unlearned. Sometimes healing begins with one simple realization: you were not hard to love, you were just not fully seen. And once you begin to understand that, you can slowly learn to give yourself the validation, safety, and emotional honesty you may not have received early on.